Hey guys, welcome to our video on slope. When we talk about slope, we're talking about how steep a line is. And there are four different types of slope. So we have what we call a positive slope, a negative slope, a zero slope, and then an undefined slope. When we talk about a positive slope, that means that the line that I'm looking at moves up from left to right. So it would look something like that. If I'm looking at a negative slope, my line would be coming down from left to right. Something such as this. A zero slope is a straight horizontal line. If you think about a horizontal line, it's completely flat. It's not steep at all. So that's my zero slope. And then an undefined is actually a vertical line, which is a line that runs straight up and down. And that will be our vertical slope. I'm sorry, our undefined slope. So those are our four basic kinds that I can categorize my lines in. When I'm measuring slope, my answer is typically going to be a fraction. And in order to figure that fraction out, we have to pick 2 points off of the line. And the cool part is it does not matter what points you pick. No matter what you pick, you will find the same exact answer. So what I'm going to do on this line, I've picked 2 points out already, and I have to identify them by their ordered pairs. So this first pair is at -2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to write down my ordered pair, -2, 4. And then I need to find the ordered pair for my second point. My second point is at 1, 2, 3 on the x-axis, and it's at -1 on the y-axis. So here's what we do. I'm going to follow this formula here, the change in y divided by the change in x. And in order to do that, I'm going to start off with my y coordinates, which would be the 4 and the -1. And to find the change in that, I'm going to subtract those two numbers. So it doesn't matter, I have a choice. I could do 4 minus -1, or I could do -1 minus 4. Again, in the end, I would end up with the same answer. So I'm going to start with my top number here, and I will solve 4 minus -1. In the bottom of the fraction, we have to find the change in the x coordinates. So with these specific points, my x coordinates are the -2 and the 3. Thinking back to how I solved the y pairs, I began with the number in the top ordered pair, so I'm going to follow that same suit for my x's. So this will be -2 minus 3. And I'm simply just going to solve. So if I subtract 4 minus -1, we add the opposite. It becomes 4 plus 1. And 4 plus 1 is 5. If I subtract the denominator, -2 minus 3, add the opposite. -2 plus -3 is -5. And then I can simplify that fraction. So 5 and 5 are both divisible by 5. So this would simplify to 1 over -1. I'd like you guys to notice that my answer is a negative fraction, and thinking back to the different types of slope, my line is moving down from left to right, which means that should have a negative slope. So that's a good hint that I did my work correctly. Another way I could check my work is to take the slope and see if it actually works with the line. So this is telling me that the rise, or the movement on the y-axis, is a 1, and the run, or the movement on the x-axis, is a -1. which means if I go up 1 and over 1, I should make it to the next point on my line. Up 1, over 1, so on and so forth. And you'll see that if I follow those steps, I get to the next point on my line, which means that I did all of my calculations correctly. One way that I could write my final answer, thinking of our slope-intercept form, which looks like this, y equals mx plus b, we know that the m stands for slope. So I could say in my answer that m is equal to 1 over negative 1.